So we believe that we need to build systems responsibly in AI, and below that we have a couple things. One is how do you build AI systems ethically? How do you construct them ethically? And the second is how do you run them ethically? How do you make sure they continue to run? And underneath that we see three fundamental levels of biases. We see biases that come from data, right? For most of the folks that's watching this are probably very familiar with how to train deep neural networks with data structures. So if your data is biased, your outcome is biased. But that is actually our least concern today. We actually see now biases from human beings creating AI. I'm handcrafting deep learning systems. There's biases there. And then finally, the world Cognizant has moved into where we're using AI to create AI. So we are now seeing biases, both good and bad, coming from that area. So when we think about the world of ethics in this area, companies today have to begin to first and foremost ask the question, should we do this? Mm-hmm. At Cognizant, when we think about our special activities, there are certain, well, you heard this from Google. Google said, hey, we're not going to use AI to support certain military actions. Microsoft said, oh no, we're going to do that. Right? Companies have to make these decisions. In addition, in an example being, for example, in healthcare, if Cognizant builds a platform that is able to say, this person should be treated with this medication and that person shouldn't, what happens if we make a mistake? What happens if I say you're not sick and you don't need this medication and you die? That's an ethical issue that we have to resolve. Should you be involved in that project? So we actually have people that's responsible for thinking about that and helping guide our company to make sure those issues are consistent with our values at the company and also keep our customers.
Or maybe you design a business process where you keep a human in the loop for a good deal of time so that...
But it starts with that ethical question. Should we be interested in this question? Right? Yeah. What happens when things go bad? What happens when a person goes rogue in a company? Yeah. What do you do? In discrimination ethics, biases is neither good or bad. Bias is just a difference in two different populations. In North America, we tend to not want to be biased. We tend to want to guarantee equal outcomes, not guarantee the outcome, but equal outcome. If you go to Canada, it's a different point of view. They want to level a playing field. So changing the bias curve for them is an important part. For us, we want to make sure it's not part of the part. We do this great example. Hey, go online, Google the term grandpa, take a look at the image, the first 100 image, what do you see? You see about 97% of them as old white guys like me, right? And then you ask the question, that doesn't reflect America. Like 74% are old white guys like me. Is Google biased? No, they're not. It's a reflection of some sort of cultural, human-centric point of view. So the answer to your question, the big profile things, has totally been about biases in their data and not catching it right, but it's actually deeper than that. And in some cases, you want to put a biased perspective in. But in all cases, you want to control it. So if you don't know what's going on, you can't go back to that ethical question. Is that the outcome we want to achieve or not? And you're leaving it to the realm of the people that are creating your data.